Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Aidan.
Here we are, Office Bloke Daz Sports Edition. Doing a bit of NBA.
You got your sports gear
Sports
on
gear
today as well.
Yeah, I've got my Giant shirt on today. I thought I'd start wearing sports
Clean.
jerseys for the channel.
I'll make me wear mine next time.
Yeah, that's why I think if you've got something you want us to wear, jersey-wise, let us know. See if we can grab hold of one. We're having a giveaway soon. I've got talking of jerseys. Got a special jersey coming to give away.
Can we say it yet?
You can say it if you want.
Can I say it?
It's on its way. It's coming over soon. So we're going to run a competition on the channel.
We've got one Manchester City jersey.
That's not the special one.
But that's not the special one, but that's why I'm saving best till last. And we've got two Wrexham jerseys with United Airlines on it.
Two of this season's Wrexham jerseys to give away.
Are we going to get a name on the back? Put Reynolds number one.
No names on the back. No, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds number one.
But yeah, we're gonna have them coming. They're on order. I'm waiting for them to come. You can't get them. They're so hard to get.
Do you reckon like people in America are ordering them and stuff?
I think they've sold out. The club shop sold out.
Oh really?
And I think they were coming back in. I think they were due back in something like maybe this week. They said.
The influence on that club they've done is insane.
Yeah. I think someone sent me a message today saying they're up for 6 Grammys or something. And that's great, winning Grammys. They should be winning leagues.
Oh, right. They're favourites to win League Two.
Yeah.
And they've just come up.
I think they signed a big player, haven't they?
They probably signed like the good League One players and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's what they do. Yeah, they'll take the League One players.
That's what they did. They took the best. They took one of the best the strikers in League One and brought him to the non-league.
Tough league though now. It starts getting hard from now.
Yeah.
Salford City found that out. But anyway, this is why Europeans are taking over the NBA.
Yeah, we just started going on about nothing there. To be fair,
well, we're talking about Wrexham jerseys.
Yeah,
Wrexham jerseys we're giving away.
But would you say they are though? Like they are like good.
Well,
like the best player in the NBA is now probably European.
Doncic.
No, Nikola Jokic.
Oh, the number 1 draft was European this season.
True, and the MVPs recently have been European, apart from Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But you had like before, like Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
He's Greek.
You call Giannis, can't be anything else but Greek. Yeah. The Antetokounmpo bit doesn't sound too Greek. But,
I remember we were sat in when we went on holiday, and some guy had a basketball jersey, Milwaukee Bucks, and said Antetokounmpo on the back, and my mate was like, "What name is that?" He doesn't watch basketball. He was like, "How do you say that?"
Yeah, but I mean, I guess someone said to me that 50% of the NBA is European, but I can't believe that.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Whoever told you that is lying to you.
Yeah, it seems a lot that. But why Europeans are taking over the NBA? Let's watch it.
When they're playing AU days, they just run up and down, no structure. And then when they get to their high school team, they're not playing well. And then now we see a lot of our guys coming into the NBA today. They can score, they can run up and down, but they can't set a screen. They don't know how to open to the ball the right way, making a simple bounce pass.
Every NBA All-Star game from 2001 to 2018 had a maximum of 4 international All-Stars. However, last year we had 6, this year we had 9, and this number doesn't seem to stop increasing, with the ESPN projecting the next 2 first draft picks coming from Europe as well. Is the USA's way of preparing players for the highest stage to blame? If you agree, don't forget to hit that like button on this video before we jump into the details. Think about it. Who are going to be the main faces of the NBA when LeBron stops playing?
LeBron turned his corner inside! He made Yusuf Nurkic screensaver!
It's all about the internationals already. Giannis, Luka, Jokic, and that alien guy Wembanyama is coming in this summer. At the same time, the AAU and load management topics have been one of the hottest arguments in the basketball world. Everyone is weighing in, from Charles Barkley.
But you can't make $30, $40, $50 million and then sit out games. I think it's disrespectful to the game.
To Paul George.
We want to play. That's the thing. We want to play. It's not that we want to sit out. And so it's more.
Can I say like what my opinion is of like why I reckon the Europeans are taking over the NBA? Because like they play a lot. They play very differently over there, don't they? Oh, over here. Sorry.
Over here.
Yeah, they play a lot. Like I reckon because it's not like a main sport. I reckon they take the concept of NBA and use other sports to put it around that. Like if you take like five-a-side football or football in general, and put it into an NBA perspective, I reckon you could play really well.
You could.
If you like keep the more ball moving.
Yeah.
No one on the team, not one of the 5 players are standing still ever.
Yeah.
Always moving.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they play like. And they always pass the ball. Like you're always keeping the ball moving.
Yeah.
And then Americans always try and 1v1 each other.
Yeah. Could be that. Someone said to me in one of the comments a few weeks ago, says I can't remember, it was a soccer video we did or something, and someone said, you imagine if all people in the USA focused on soccer, we'd have the best team in the world. I said, a bit like Europeans are doing now with the NBA. But we don't play NBA, we don't play basketball over at school. Yeah. But a lot of the Europeans are taking over the NBA.
Yeah.
So maybe something similar. So I said, put it to the test. Why don't they try it? Because it's big money in football.
Is there any Europeans that play NFL?
Yeah, there is, yeah. Some guy from Scotland, I think. He's,
Scotland?
Yeah, he plays for the Giants. Someone tells in the comments.
Scottish player in the NBA? Yeah. NFL, that's cool.
More so the training staff and the medical group just being mindful.
To medical professors giving their in-depth analysis on the topic. And believe it or not, all of this is heavily related to the increasing number of international players in the NBA. First of all, let's get one thing clear. Many media personalities are blaming stars who earn up to $30 to $40 million per year for sitting out games simply because they are lazy and not up to the standard of the 80s or 90s fierce guys. Ironically, sitting games out is not up for them to decide. It is the medical staff of each franchise that evaluates the best possible scenario for every player to maximize his potential over the longest period of years. So the first thing to do would be to stop blaming the players because they don't have anything to do with the load management. Now, the reason behind the doctors keeping guys from competing, for example on the back-to-back games, is quite simple and clearly said in one of the most well-researched articles from ESPN's Baxter Holmes in 2019. The headline says, "Exposing America's Youth Basketball Crisis." Holmes goes on to write about how AAU basketball has become a big business in the United States, with many coaches seeking to profit from the dreams of young players and their families. Also, the AAU industry forces coaches and players to focus more on individual success than team play and development, which leads to bad habits on the court and the lack of improvement of the necessary skills at the higher level. Steve Kerr, before he became the head coach of the Warriors, had these words about AAU that perfectly describe the negative impact it has on youth's future. Even if today's players are incredibly gifted, they grow up in a basketball environment that can only be called counterproductive. What troubled me was how much winning is devalued here. Teams play game after game after game, sometimes winning or losing 4 times in one day. Very rarely do teams ever hold a practice. The process of growing as a team basketball player, learning how to become part of a whole, how to fit into something bigger than oneself, becomes completely lost. Now, that's one part of why we see the majority of American players coming into the NBA with very strong individual skills, yet struggling to be efficient on the court in their first seasons. Only a small percentage of players understand, for example, the right angles of screening, the ideal timing, the goal of cutting, and how to read defenders' movement off the ball. Do you notice how guards never lack shot making off the dribble? It's always a right pass that's late or never arrives to the teammate. They are often taking ill-advised shots rather than looking for a better option simply because they are used to playing one way and have never in their lives been pressed to care much about the consequences of bad decisions because of the way AAU is structured.
No. Oh my goodness, Valentine!
No.
Whoa, no!
No.
That is not the shot at that
What was
moment.
that?
Horrible shot.
The other side of the issue that Holmes mentions in this ESPN article is that AAU pushes kids to play year-round and participate in these high-intensity tournaments every weekend in order to get more exposure. We are talking about flying to other cities and playing 3 to 4 games per day on a weekend. Long story short, what happens is that such a rhythm increases the risk of injuries and fatigue. Many young players nowadays are reporting that they were in the best shape of their lives when they had 17 or 18 years old. They mentioned that it was the period where they jumped the highest. According to the doctors, this peak should happen way later, around 24 to 25 years old. But the year-round games of high school and then AAU have anticipated this. The end result of this cycle is that the NBA gets the young players at their athletic peak, but also with the most injuries they have ever seen. So in order to protect their joints, ligaments, and their knees, the medical staff is promoting load management for the majority of the players from the early days. Looking on the other side of the ocean, the European way of preparing players is much different. Disclaimer, this video is not trying to say one way or the other is better, it's simply to spark a conversation. Now, I've passed through the youth pyramids in Europe myself, and to be honest, the differences of how international players are prepared might be the reason they are flooding the NBA. Putting the nature freak Giannis aside, none of the international all-stars are out of this world athletes. Jokic, Luka, Markkanen, Sabonis all leaned on their basketball fundamentals to reach the all-star level. If AAU basketball is available from your 9th birthday, in Europe is much different. The summer tournaments don't exist until you are 14 or 15 years old. And those are not for everyone. Only the best are selected to showcase their talents for their respective national teams in the regional championships. Until that, summers are off and boys are either spending in doing something else or sometimes working on their games individually, but they never travel the continent each weekend to play 5 or 6 games in a couple of days. Usually, during the season, they will have 1 or 2 games per week for their basketball schools. The funding of those schools sometimes relies on their results, thus winning is utterly important. This is where teaching the right play gets the nod over the individual skill. I'm not saying this is a better recipe, and lately more and more European coaches are focusing on individual skills, but it teaches many players how to be efficient even when they don't have the ball in their hands. Yes, this is where the on-ball skill gap between Americans and Europeans comes from, but the best players that make their way through such a system in the end have both.
It's gonna be fun.
Curly Neal's going out, huh?
Look at that.
It's a good look.
He faked me out.
Another thing is that in Europe, if you are good enough at around 16 years of age, you start to playing for the first team against grown men. All of a sudden, you are no longer the best player on the court and have to find the slightest of ways to helping your team. This can be a humbling experience and not everyone survives it, but it also gives you an early glimpse of real basketball and all the little details that role players do. Most professional teams here practice all week and prepare careful game plans for that one game on Sunday, also giving young guys an example of how real structured basketball looks like.
Up high, there he goes again! The EuroLeague's new high flyer!
At the same time, while internationals are in physical battles with grown men, the most talented kids in the USA are showing off the same dribble moves every weekend in a mostly unorganized environment against teams that don't even practice together. Of course, there are good programs and bad programs in the AAU as well, but you get the idea behind this comparison. Playing so early against men is one of the reasons why nobody in Europe questioned Luka's future in the NBA. Dominating high school is one thing, but dominating EuroLeague at 18 years old is a totally different story. He was getting adjusted to various defensive coverages, much higher levels of physicality, and doing it against a higher level of opponents than NCAA. That's why his decision-making in his first year in the NBA did not take a hit as much as for some American rookies. I know you might say, but hey, it's Luka, he's one of a kind.
Three-pointer for the game. You eat that. Oh my word.
But the same could be also applied to those European rookies who played limited minutes. They are probably not superior athletically and can't create their own shot so easily, but they are capable of doing positive things in the periods they are allowed. You rarely catch yourself saying, man, the decision-making of this international is terrible. Combining all these reasons would be my explanation behind the boom of successful international players in today's NBA. Let me know if you agree. Subscribe to our channel if you're...
You kind of said what you said there.
Yeah, you just play a different way.
Yeah, different
Brought
ways
up a
to
different
play.
way of game.
Like playing without the ball.
Yeah, that's what you learn about in football.
Yeah,
when
we talk about football, I always say, look what he does without the ball.
Yeah,
he does. You only touch the ball something like, I think in soccer, I think you only touch the ball something like 2 minutes out of 90 with the ball at your feet. It's not a lot. I mean, City's probably a little bit different because of the style they play. You know what I mean? You've probably seen a lot more on the ball, but it's how you play without the ball, and movements and space you're making, and and the way you go forward. You've only got 24 seconds to score a basket.
Yeah, if you're not making if you're not making space for your teammate or giving him an opportunity for a pass, then
could you ever see someone like Ja Morant playing like Luka Doncic plays?
Nah.
You know what I mean? He's a bit of a showman, isn't he? He likes
to
run
you'd want to do it himself.
He wants to do it himself, yeah. Whereas Doncic and even Jokic,
I feel like there's a lot of players in the NBA that are like that.
Yeah, Jokic is the same as well. It's sort of like they pass the ball to they play as a team, and we said that before.
That's how Europeans play. They always play as a team.
When we were watching the Nuggets in the playoffs, we were saying they've got a 5-man team. It's a proper team. Everyone's a team
maybe
player.
Maybe Jokic has come in and told them how they play.
Yeah. Right. It's changed the way they think. Changed the way they play. Interesting that, especially for me, who's not a massive NBA fan. So I like to watch it sort of thing and see how that develops. Because it'd be interesting to see how Wemby comes in this year and plays. Yeah, it's a really hot thing for me. That I'm hoping he does sensationally well. Can't see it, but
I want to see an Englishman in the NBA.
Yeah, we don't grow tall enough.
No,
do we? You're probably the tallest in England.
No, I don't. There's no
lamppost.
Dutch people, is there?
I don't know.
They're massive.
Yeah, Dutch are, it's 2 metres tall, every one of them. Smallest is 2 metres.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.